And we are back with more Philadelphia Phillies off-season talk because, well, that's really all we can talk about because the Phillies are no longer in the Major League Baseball playoffs. As we all know, they lost in 4 games in the NLDS to the defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. But anyway, welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily, as I've been doing, giving you a little bit of a playoff update, even though the Phillies are not in it. But still, if you like baseball, if you're a fan of Major League Baseball, you want to know what's still going on in the MLB playoffs. It's still an exciting time of the year. Playoff baseball is awesome to watch. And I kind of like yesterday's video on Wednesday. I am actually making this video Wednesday. This video will be uploaded for Thursday, so not fully up to date with these scores, with the actual series record in these 2 playoff matches between the Dodgers and Brewers and the Mariners and the Blue Jays. But if you're solely relying here on me at Phillies Daily for your playoff updates, all you can do is go to a quick Google search and see the updated, or you could just wait it out and keep on waiting for me to give you these updates. But nonetheless, the Seattle Mariners beat the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS Game 1, 3-1. They also won Game 2, 10-3 over the Blue Jays. So they had an early 2-0 series lead over the Blue Jays as the underdogs. The Mariners, they are the lower seed in the playoffs for that. So they are heading back to Seattle. Game 3, that happened last night on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Again, I'm making this on Wednesday before the game happened, so I don't have that full update for you, whether the Blue Jays or the Mariners won. You can get a quick little Google search if you really care that much about it. Game 4 will be here today, 8:33 tonight in Seattle as well. So if the Mariners do win, or did, I should say, win Game 3, they could be going for a series sweep, 4-0 over the Toronto Blue Jays here Thursday night in Seattle at home. And then a Game 5, if needed, will be tomorrow on Friday, 6:08 p.m. in Seattle as well. And then it still rolls on a best-of-7 series. So if more games are needed, then it'll just be the following days. Now, on the NLCS side of things, the Dodgers did beat the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee in Game 1 of the NLCS 2-1. They also won Game 2, 5-1 over the Brewers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto tossed a complete game on the mound for the Dodgers. Great pitcher. Got the job done. Blake Snell was incredible in Game 1 as well for the Dodgers. They're looking kind of unbeatable right now, up 2-0 over the Brewers. Also, they were the underdogs because the Brewers had a higher seed in the playoffs as well. So, Dodgers up 2-0, heading back home to LA. Game 3 is here on Thursday, 6:08 p.m. start time in LA. 6:08 start time on the East Coast, but 6:08 is the start time. They are in LA, up 2-0 over the Brewers. Game 4 will be tomorrow, Friday, 8:38 p.m. as well in LA. So if the Dodgers do win Game 3 here on Thursday, then they can go for a series sweep as well, 4-0 over the Milwaukee Brewers at home on Friday, tomorrow, in that ballgame. So that's a little bit of the playoff update. Again, I'm making this video on Wednesday. This video will be uploaded on Thursday, so not completely accurate, but still, if you really care that much to see what happened in these games, especially in the ALCS, with the game being on Wednesday, couldn't give you that full update. You can do a quick Google search to see if the Mariners took a 3-0 lead at home over the Blue Jays, or if the Blue Jays are trying to salvage this series and picked up their first win to make it a 2-1 series lead for the Mariners. But nonetheless, let's get into some Phillies talk here. The Matt Gelb of The Athletic, one of the Phillies beat writers, he came out the other day talking about Kyle Schwarber and his projected contract and what he is likely going to be seeking on the open market in free agency. Very credible, very reliable source Matt Gelb is, obviously covering the Philadelphia Phillies for a very highly reputable source of The Athletic. He says Kyle Schwarber will be seeking a 5-year contract in free agency, and likely that's going to be about $30 million per year on that 5-year contract. So a contract for Kyle Schwarber could look like 5 years, $150 million, or if he doesn't necessarily get that 5 years just because of his age, 4 years, $120 million. That is both $30 million per year with that 5-year mark or that 4-year mark. Likely, again, still going to be making around that $30 million a year mark, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 4 years, who knows what it's going to be. But that is a hefty, hefty price and a commitment for a guy who will be turning 33 in March, who's just a designated hitter at that as well. So is it worth it for the Phillies to lock up Kyle Schwarber for 4 or 5 years as a 33-year-old, as just a solely designated hitter at this point in his career for about $30 million, give or take, a year? I've been saying they should throw the money at him, but after seeing how the Phillies exited in that playoffs in the NLDS to the Dodgers for the second consecutive season, ending their playoff hopes early with a World Series championship caliber team, already having these older guys on long-term contracts in Bryce Harper and Trey Turner, Aaron Nola as well, and the starting pitching staff. I think I've been saying it the past couple of videos, I think they should just move on from Kyle Schwarber, especially if he's looking for a 5-year deal at 33 years old, worth around $30 million a year. I think it's just doesn't make that much sense. You should put that money, put those commitments towards maybe a younger guy, maybe a guy who's at an actual position of need and not just a designated hitter. Who knows what's going to happen? I love Kyle Schwarber. I would love to have him back, but I'm not really sold on a 5-year, $30 million a year contract for Kyle Schwarber at 33 years old. But who knows? We have a long offseason of talking about this and Kyle Schwarber. But Matt Gelber, the Athletic, he did drop that little nugget saying Kyle Schwarber is seeking a 5-year contract in free agency. And maybe a guy that they could put that money towards instead is Boston Red Sox, now probably former Boston Red Sox third baseman Alex Bregman. He came out the other day saying, or maybe not saying, but it was reported that Alex Bregman will opt out of his Boston Red Sox contract. He signed a 3-year, $120 million contract right before this past season in 2025 with the Red Sox. Had that opt-out, obviously. He plans to do that after just 1 year with the Red Sox, so leaving $80 million on the table and trying to go back into free agency to potentially get a better deal or move on and just go to a better situation for him. So Alex Bregman, also not very young. He is 31 years old, but he's a right-handed hitter, third baseman. He has experience at shortstop as well in his major league career, but he's been primarily a third baseman as of late. I think he played third base all year, and that was it for the Red Sox here in 2025. He's a 3-time All-Star, including this past year with the Red Sox in 2025, 2018 All-Star Game MVP, 1-time Silver Slugger, 1-time Golden Glover, 2-time World Series champion, both with the Houston Astros. He helped beat the Phillies back in 2022 in that World Series where the Phillies lost the Astros in 6 games in that magical little Cinderella run they had as the final wild card team. 5th in American League MVP voting back in 2018, and then he came as the runner-up in MVP voting again, or not again, but the runner-up in 2019, the following year in the American League for MVP voting. So he's had a very successful career. Spent 9 seasons with the Houston Astros to start his career. Obviously, this past year with the Boston Red Sox. So 10-year career going into his 11th season in 2026. Opting out of his contract with the Red Sox, trying to seek a better deal, maybe seek a better fit situation for him as a player, as a team. This past season, pretty good season overall for Alex Bregman with the Red Sox in his lone season there. 273 batting average, 360 on base, 462 slugging, 821 OPS, 28 doubles, 18 home runs, 62 RBIs in 114 games. He did miss some time there, so obviously a 162-game season. He only played 114 with that season here, his lone season with the Red Sox, if he does not re-sign with them in free agency. Again, spent his first 9 years with the Astros, 2025, 1 season with the Red Sox, opting out of that 3-year deal after just the 1 season. But he also has played 102 career playoff games, so he has that playoff experience, which is much needed for a veteran guy. If you're going to spend this money, put this commitment into a guy, if the Phillies were to sign him, you want that playoff experience. The Phillies are still a playoff caliber team, even though they lost the past 2 years in the NLDS. They went to the World Series in 2022 as a wildcard team, 1 win away from another World Series appearance as a wildcard team in 2023. 2024, won the NL East for the first time since 2011, lost in the NLDS to the Mets. 2025, won the NL East again for a second consecutive season, lost in the NLDS to the defending champs Dodgers. So they're still a playoff caliber team, even if they let some of these guys go, and Schwarber, Vermuto, Suarez, whatever it might be, trading Nick Castellanos, who knows, Bohm, Marsh. But still, Alex Bregman is a third baseman for the most part. Obviously, the Phillies have a long-term commitment to Trey Turner at shortstop, so Alex Bregman would fill in at third base, which means Alec Bohm's future, who has been in trade rumors. Obviously, we saw this past season Alex Bohm's name, and heading into the 2025 season, his name was in trade rumors. He could be traded. Wasn't great to begin of the season in 2025. Heated up, one of the Phillies' better hitters as the season went on. Obviously didn't do much in the playoffs either. So it could be time to move on from Alec Boehm at third base. So a guy that could replace him is Alex Bregman, with a lot of success in his career, a lot of great success, a lot of playoff experience. It's going to cost you some pretty dollars, but it could be worth it to bring in a new fresh face, some new talent, trying to win and trying to stay relevant here in the playoff in the National League, trying to win a World Series in 2026. We'll see what happens. You could also potentially shift, if you sign Bregman, shift Boehm to first base. He's had a lot of experience there, and maybe put Bryce Harper back in right field. He said he'd be open to doing that if it makes sense, if they're trying to bring a right guy. They could also DH Bryce Harper at times. So who knows if they don't bring Kyle Schwarber back. A lot to talk about. We'll probably take another deeper dive into Alex Bregman as the offseason goes on, as rumors as we get closer to free agency. But there's that, him being reported to be opting out of his contract with the Red Sox. Now, another MLB insider with the Athletic, as I mentioned, Matt Gelb's talking about Kyle Schwarber and seeking a 5-year contract. Jason Stark of the Athletic, been around for a long time. He knows this stuff as well. Very credible source. He told Ricky Bo and Bill Colorado of 97.5 The Fanatic of their show Unfiltered. He said Dave Dombrowski, the Phillies president of baseball operations, he said Dave Dombrowski knows he can't bring this team back intact, and so he will be bold, and that could mean anything. Talking about the Phillies offseason plans, talking about what Dave Dombrowski has planned, trying to shake up this roster, trying to kind of retool it, as I've been saying in these past couple of videos since the season ended. You can't keep throwing the same roster out. We've seen this core group go to the playoffs for 4 consecutive seasons. They're bringing Rob Thompson back in 2026. Whether you like that move or not, he will be back, but you can't keep bringing these guys back. That's why I said possibly just letting Kyle Schwarber go, use that money to sign somebody else, maybe letting JT Realmuto go, maybe letting Ranger Suarez go, maybe trading some of these guys in Castellanos, Boehm, Marsh, whoever it may be. You just can't keep throwing the same lineup out there. Can't keep running the same guys out there every day as we saw these past 4 years, because obviously it is not working here in Philadelphia. They got to shake things up. They got to change things. And Jason Stark believes, and he told Ricky Bo and Bill Colorado of 97.5 The Fanatic of Unfiltered, their show the other day, that Dave Dombrowski is planning to be bold, and that could mean anything, whether that's moving on from guys, signing some big name free agents, making some notable trades. Who knows? It's going to be a fun offseason, so stay tuned here with us at Phillies Daily. I will be bringing you all of the Phillies information regarding trade rumors, free agency rumors, all this kind of stuff, season outlook for 2026, prospects, everything, current players. It's going to be a fun offseason. So again, stick with us. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. And as always, go Phils.